Hello everyone, it's Marie from Skeletorama again with part 3, a final part of our wax phantom. So now we get to do the fun part. We get to paint him and make him glow. So hope you guys enjoy it. So here it is. It has been baked. It's nice and hard now. So now it's time to paint it. And I mean, it doesn't look bad. I think what's throwing me, because see how wildly off the proportions are, and these are matching that, right? But the head on this guy is really tiny, and this one I couldn't make it that tiny because I'm just not skilled enough, right? So I think that's partially what's doing it. But he definitely does look like, you know, a wax figure, very hastily put together, just like this guy does. So, and it's as good as it's going to get. I did test fit this in the house where I want it to go, which is going to be in that secret room that we have the secret door for, in that bay window area. And he's just going to be kind of up there as a statue, sort of staring out. So you'll be able to see him a little bit from the inside of the house when you're viewing it, but you'll really be able to see him from the outside. So that was my plan for that. So now we are going to get some gesso on here. So I can move this, because it's not hot. My trivet that I love. Okay, so I am going to first use a white gesso on this. And then when we're done, we are going to use the glow in the dark. And then I am going to see how it looks with just a tiny bit of the green in there also. All right, so I'm going to put some gesso in here, and I'm going to get this gessoed and fast forward through that portion of it. Okay, so that's gonna be my first layer. I probably am gonna do some extra gesso on here, just because I really want to cover up the pink color of the clay. So I will go off camera and do that, and I will come back, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna do, I think, a couple different combinations of stuff, because again, he's got kind of like this greenish color, so I do want to represent that along with the glow in the dark part. So anyways, I will finish that part off and clean up, and I will come back to you. So the gesso is pretty dry. It's a little splotchy, but it doesn't matter because I'm painting over it. I just need to give it a surface that it's easy for the paint to grab onto and not come peeling off of, basically, is why the gesso is there, because it's got kind of a grit to it, so it gives it tooth, so it's got something to grab onto. But anyways, so we have this painted this way. So now, if we look again at our little reference photos, he's kind of like this grayish, lightish, greenish sort of business going on here. So what I'm gonna do is I have a light gray, this is pale gray folk art acrylic, and then I've also got a vintage white, which is a little more of a creamyish white, but it's really one of the few that I have, so I don't have much of a choice. It's that or sparkly. And I'm gonna put just the tiniest bit of the Monster Potion in, and I think just for fun, I will put a little bit of the lit powder in this as well. Even though this is opaque, it's not super opaque, so it at least will start us with a base layer, because I want this thing to glow, big time glow, which I'm sure it will. But we're just going to throw a little bit in here too, because why not? I'm just curious to see what's going to happen if we do that. So let's start with that, and then what we're going to do to get more of the shading and more of the eyes and everything is we're going to make a wash with this Stuart Semple Monster Potion, my green here. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna mix these up. I'm gonna start with the gray because I want that to be my primary color. So we'll put a good amount because I'm going to mix the color with other colors, and the chances of me mixing it correctly a second time are pretty slim. So I am going to kind of put this stuff over here, though, that I'm going to mix it with. I can put just a little tiny bit in there. Okay. And then same with my green. I'm going to take this off because I haven't used it yet. And put just a little bit in here, she says, while not being able to put a little bit in there. This paint is nice and thick, and I need very, very little of it. Probably like that's way too much, I'm guessing. But all right, so there's that. What we'll do is I'm going to get this color kind of blended up the way I want it. Then I'll worry about doing the powder stuff in there. And the directions on the lit powder, you should do equal parts. Like if you're using the base, like we're going to do when we paint the outside of it, you should use equal parts base and powder. I am not going to waste that much on this, but I do want to just give it a little bit. So just to see what happens. Okay, wow, looks like I could have just dumped it in here, couldn't I? So I'm gonna get this nice and light. I don't want it too terribly dark. And the brush is like one of the least efficient ways to get it in here, but you know, hey ho. All right, let's see if I can get some of this out. So I can grab just a little bit of my green, just the smallest bit. That's probably more than I need, but it's not too bad. I just want it to have like a tinge. I don't want it to be super green. So that's not terrible. So I should be really doing this with a palette knife, but you know, I'm lazy. I don't want to reach all the way over there for it. Okay, that looks pretty good, I think. And so I'm going to set my brush here. I'm going to get my powder, open it over this, so just in case I got powder on the outside, it'll fall right in there. And I'm going to take my little scoop and I'm going to put probably that much in there. So about 1.5 of those out of 10, because again, what I'm counting on is this mixed straight with the super base over it. But I just want to kind of see what it'll do if we mix it in with this stuff. So get this mixed up and I'll start painting. I'll put it on fast forward again while I paint. One of these days I will learn how to do, you know how people do those and they're painting stuff on YouTube videos and they'll kind of cut back and forth. I have zero skill for doing that. Apologies there, but one of these days I'll figure out how to do that, and then these will become a lot easier to watch, I guess. But for now, y'all are stuck watching me paint. So here we go. Okay, so he is now painted this first color, and I must say this came out really, really well as far as the color I wanted it to be. Hopefully we won't have to go over it again because I'm going to have to clean this up while this dries. I may just kind of leave it for a minute, and then I really like this color. This is almost exactly how I wanted him to be. So we have him here like this. So what we're going to do then is we're going to make kind of a slightly darker version of this into a wash, I think. So I may take the black wash and mix a little bit of this in and see how that does, and a little bit of the green, and we can kind of go from there. So I will see you guys back in a few as soon as this is dry. So that's still drying. I looked everywhere. I swear to God, I have a box of Dixie cups in this frickin' craft room somewhere, and I have no clue I can never find them. I will find them, however, 5 minutes after I don't need them anymore. But yeah, that thing where you can picture stuff being in a certain place, it's not there. Okay, so I am going to use some of the black wash that I already have pre-made, and I just went and got a little portion cup thing here for it, because what I want to do is just a little bit more than that. Here we go. I want to add some of this to it before I rinse it off, because I want to give the wash, you know, this kind of more light green cast to it. So I'll put that in there, and then I'm going to grab, I think, some of this green also and mix that in there. Let's see, got a piece of paper I can use. I can use this. We can just kind of mix this around, and I'm just going to put it on here. Is that giving me kind of what I want? Almost. I think I need a little bit more green and some more of this here, so it'll kind of lighten it up. So yeah, that's definitely got a green cast to it. Okay, perfect. Cool, so now I will transfer this to this. I will go clean that off, and I'll be right back to you. All right, so now of course it's dry enough for me to handle and turn every which way, and I can see all the spots I missed. There's a couple of them, that's fine. And you may hear some interesting noise in the background because we are having a thunderstorm, because coastal Georgia, that's what we do, even though it's December. But that is absolutely fine because it's one of my favorite things. So I'm going to take what looks like dirty paint water, and is not. This is our wash. I'm going to go ahead and put some of this over here. I'm just going to kind of glob it on, and I'm just going to let it go where it needs to go. I've got him on his back just because I really want to highlight some of these different lines, you know, where the knees are, where it looks all baggy and stuff, and in the face for sure. The eyes. If it does a good enough job on the eyes, then I won't have to mess with it, right? Which will be great. So I'm just going to go over him completely with this. This should bring out all of our different textures and things like that. And we'll do that on fast forward. I'm going to do this just for a second here, just so I can collect a little bit extra in some of these areas easier. And then I will stand him up for the rest of it. So there we have it. I'll show this to you when it's dry, but basically I just kind of went around, put the stuff on there. What I'm looking for is trying to eliminate any really obvious drips. I don't want you to see a big old drip of the darker color going down, so I kind of evened those out and made sure that I got pretty much everywhere, which I think I did. I'm going to leave this here, and then once this is dried off, I will take a look at it again and see if I need to hit any more spots with it. But basically this wash is what really brings out all of the character and all of the lines and the details, and the way the eyes and stuff turned out, I really don't think I'm going to need to paint them by themselves, which thank God, because I always make that look like a train wreck, right? So that works for me. So we will let this dry completely, and I'll come back to you, and then we will make this thing glow. I did hold it up to the light and then turn the lights off. It does have a little bit of a glow to it, but again, because this is an opaque paint, it's going to block you being able to see this, as opposed to this base, which is not. It's designed specifically so that you can use this as a paint and see it. So anyways, I'll join you guys back here in a little while. All right, so he is more or less dry. So now you can really see all of the texture and stuff in there, and he's looking very blobby and wax-like. He is a little dark on the dark side. The stuff will lighten up a bit when it dries, right? But not completely. But this is actually going to lighten it up a little bit too. So not terribly worried about that, but it has given a lot of texture to the eyes and the mouth. So I don't think I'm gonna mess with, you know, trying to paint those in a dark color or anything. So now we're gonna do the fun part. We are going to make him glow in the dark. So I'm probably gonna have to do like the top and the arms first and let those dry, and then do the legs, just so I've got somewhere to hold it, because it does make things a bit awkward, you know. So with this stuff, I am using what's called Super Base. This is an acrylic paint base, and that's what you mix this with. You can mix this with this, you can mix it with linseed oil if you want to do more of an oil paint style thing. It does not mix with water, however, so that won't help you out. But anyways, the instructions say to use 1-to-1 ratio of powder and super base. Also, do not try to mix a bunch ahead and, like, say, keep it in a jar for later use, because these two will react with each other and it'll dry out on you anyway. So really no point. Make it up nice and fresh. So I think what I'll do is I will put the powder in here first. And that's not what I want to use. So I've got my little Nouveau scoop, and I'm going to do 1, 2, let's do 3 scoops. Why not? Live a little, right? Because I do probably want to do 2 coats. I think it'll be fine, you know, for the 2 coats. I don't think it's going to dry out, but you never know. Okay, so now this, I want to do an equal part of the base. So I'm just going to put that next to it and kind of aim for an equal sized pile of it. Yeah, I'm gonna get it everywhere. All right, so that looks pretty good. So we're gonna go ahead and mix this up. This one I am gonna use the trowel to mix it up, because I definitely don't want to get it really uneven, you know, and on the brush and make a big mess with it. And I think I may need a little bit more of my base. We'll see here. We want it to incorporate all of that powder in there. So put a little bit more of the base in. And again, if it's not an exact 1-to-1, it's not like it's not going to glow, you know. It's just, it's going to give you the most bang for your buck, I think, at that 1-to-1 ratio. It'll give you a nice even coating of the powder as well, so you don't have any spots that don't glow as good as other spots. All right, so I got a nice amount of this in here. Seems to be mixing up pretty good. Might be a little kind of grainy, but I don't really care about that. And I don't want to waste any of this, so I'm going to clean this off with my brush. Ha ha ha. Okay, so voila. And again, I will put it in fast forward, but we are going to paint our little friend here so that he will glow in the dark. This should, like I said, maybe lighten it up a little bit, but it should not necessarily change, you know, the color values a ton. But I am going to make sure that I'm watching for it. You know how, see where I put it on there and I've got that paint line. I want to make sure I don't have any of those when I'm done, which is why I'm going to do a smaller area this time than normal. I think that's all we're going to do for now. I'm going to go clean this stuff up, and then the really nice part is the fact that once this is dry, I'm going to hold it up to the light and we can turn the lights off and we'll see if we missed a spot because it won't be glowing. Everything else should be glowing pretty good. So I will join you guys back here in just a few. All right, so we've got the first coat on. It's more or less dry. There are a couple spots where like I missed and it kind of dripped down, but that's actually working for me because it's very much like a wax drip would be. So I did hold it up to the main light for a couple, yeah, about a minute or so all the way around. So let's see how we are with glowing. I'll turn these lights off and see where we're at. All right, so look at that. So he is glowing, but he is glowing kind of splotchy-ish. So I think I'm gonna do one more coat of the paint on there as soon as I can find my light switch. There we go. Oh, I should make note of where those are, right, at some point. So I'm gonna go ahead and do one more coat. I'll do that off camera and let it dry, and then we will come back and we will see how glowy it is. So catch you guys back in just a few. All right, so second layer has had a chance to dry, and I held it up to light, and I also remembered, hey, I've got my UV light for doing the what you call it, oh god, what is that crap? Resin, UV resin, and you know, this charges it up too. So as a matter of fact, if I put it on here, you can really see it start to glow. I think it charges up quite a bit. So I can see it glowing right now without this, but I'm gonna turn lights off so y'all can see. And there we have it. We have our little dude. Is it the most even? No. I mean, I'm sure if I did a couple more coats, it'd be a lot more even, but I think it looks really cool. And it's gonna look really cool in the house. So I think what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to take it out there. The other thing this showed me, where did it go? Somewhere in here. I don't know where it went. There it is. This also helped show me where I had missed spots. You can see I missed a spot on the knee right there, but I mean, this really amps it up. Look at that go. So, all right, we're going to take this and I'm going to go put it in the house where I want to have it, and I will take you guys out there and show you how it looks in the house. Okay, so we are out here, we are at the house, and here we have him. This is where he's going to be, kind of looking out that window. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the house around so I can show you what it looks like from the window. So here we have him. So we're looking at the front of the house, and who's peeking out the window but the wax phantom. So let me do it with this light off here in the living room, and I will turn this light off, so excuse me as I walk backwards. The light's like way over here. Ta-da! So see, all his spookiness. So yeah, it glows really good. And again, you know, if I put probably another coat or so on there, it would be a lot more even, but I'm gonna chalk that up to my not being so great at painting it, which is most likely the case. So I still think that looks pretty cool. I mean, he's big, but he fits. So, you know, and there'll be a curtain and stuff in there. So I think that'll look kind of fun. So let me turn this back around and I'll show you a couple of things that I did get finished on the house. Okay, so as we see, we've got our guy here still. One of the things I did do was I went ahead and finished the wallpaper that's back here behind this. And I put the windows in. As you can see, the windows were in there. They are currently not in the other ones yet. So the windows go in once I finish, of course, the wallpaper and everything. So that's pretty much done here. I still am undecided on this side here, but I finished the floor in here. So that I procrastinated. I got it about halfway done and it sat there for months. So one of the next things I'll need to work on is the walls in here and doing the plaster lath kind of surface for this. I did get some more modeling paste, so we will be tackling that in future. And of course we have our snow ghost, who will most likely be up there, but I haven't put him up anywhere because he's kind of heavy, so he'll have to be permanent. So I wanted to wait until I was absolutely sure I had nothing different that was going to go there, because you know how it is with these things. So anyways, that's where we are. So do one more turnaround of this so you can see him from the front. Okay, so we have our wax phantom hanging out in the upper floor, looking all scary. So I'm not sure what the next one will be. It'll be something. So I will see you guys in that one. So, hej med er till Björk Life. Bye!